Today on Review This Thing, we are going to compare the CVA Cascade XT to the CVA Cascade SB. This is Adrienne with Review This Thing, and you've seen us shoot a lot of CVA Cascade videos. The big question we wanted to answer is, when it comes to shooting these two, what's the difference? These are both 6.5 Creedmoor. The XT has a 22-inch barrel and the SB has an 18-inch barrel. Based on the things we've read, with that 4-inch difference, theoretically, the SB should shoot the same round about 100 feet per second slower. We're gonna shoot 3 out of the XT, shoot 3 out of the SB, and compare to see how accurate that is. Then we want to take it out to 200 yards and see what the drop difference would be. And we wanted to test out this Garmin Zero chronograph that we got not too long ago and see if it's as easy to use as everybody says it is. Make sure you subscribe so you can see our full review on that as well. For our setup today, we of course have the XT. We also have a Leupold VX Freedom 4-12x50 scope, and then it just came with a radial muzzle brake. We're also going to use Hornady American Whitetail because we have a lot of these and we need to shoot them. I'm going to go bottom left. Sweet. So that one is, I don't know if you can see it real well, but it is pretty zeroed up and down, but it's left like 2-3 inches. So good deal. Those are actually pretty close. Shoot one more. Sweet. That's actually a pretty decent group out of those Hornady American Whitetails. Our average speed out of that was 27:21.9. In theory, our SB should be about 26:20. Let's find out. This is actually the exact same scope. Well, not the exact same, just the same one, but a different one. And we also have, we borrowed a radial brake from our Ridge. Should be no differences other than the length of the barrel. We're going bottom right.
That was horrible.
That one is very high. We didn't really super get these sighted in really well beforehand. So as long as these are close, we'll be pretty happy though. And then we'll worry about getting it sighted in. That one was 26:12. Pretty much lining up right where we thought it would. Let's shoot that third one and see where it hits. Maybe we'll get a pretty decent group out of it too. There we go. So, not too bad. That one seems to like these pretty decent as well. That gave us an average of 26:35.7. Not quite 100 feet per second slower, but pretty cool to actually test it out and see how that plays out. So the next step, take this out to that range, fire it dead on at 200 and see how much it drops, and then we're going to compare the two. If you like anything you see in this video, head to our website, reviewthisthingtv.com, and there are links to where you can check all of those out. That really helps us out, helps support what we do and our channel. Okay, now for part two. Both the Shorty and the XT are zeroed at 100 yards. With the XT at 200 yards, we should get about a 3.5-inch drop. So we're gonna go top left. Yeah, right about a 4.25-inch drop. We're gonna shoot a couple more and see if they're still pretty close to that, and then we'll get an average. So that one was 3/4 of an inch-ish higher, so we're getting close to that 3.5. So I'd say at 200 yards, that's a pretty solid group again with these American Whitetail. Now we have our SB, or our Shorty. It's the 18-inch barrel. Remember, it was about 85 or so feet per second slower. So according to the ballistic app, that means it should drop about 4 inches. we are gonna put a suppressor on the shorty and see if it speeds it up at all. So make sure after this you keep watching. We're pretty interested to see what the results will be with that. So this time we're gonna aim at the top right since we're gonna get a drop. So hopefully it'll hit a little below the last one on the right side though. We shall see. Well, it hit about the same height actually. Let's shoot 2 more and see what that group looks like. That one was a little bit more right, so may have pulled a little bit on that first one, but either way, it is about the same height. This is pretty interesting. Let's see what happens on the third one. That one was even higher. That group is a little bit more open too, which is interesting. I mean, it is a 4-inch shorter barrel, so you do wonder if some of that accuracy is because of that, not having as long of a barrel. But let's put one more down there. That one's even higher. That's weird. It's like up there with those 3. We're puzzled. The barrel's not super hot, but let's let it cool off and shoot one more. Our velocities are staying pretty well. The minimum has been 2606, max is 2617. So it's not like we're heating up a whole lot, speeding up a whole lot. Or take one more shot at that top right, see where it hits. So we are a little perplexed because that one hit one of the holes from 100 yards. It shouldn't be hitting the same spot at 200 as it is at 100. So, but the last 2 were like almost touching. So we're gonna shoot one more and see where it hits. And then we may need your help figuring out what's happening. So that shot hit where the second shot hit. So the first, second, and 6th shots hit right about where they should. The third one wasn't super high, but the 4th and 5th were very high. Maybe it's because the barrel is 4 inches shorter. Comment and let us know if you think that's what it is. Or it could be that at distance, this American whitetail from Hornady isn't going to shoot that great out of this gun either. We've done a lot of ammo testing and you've seen some of the loads do awesome and some are not as good. So it could just be that we need to find a better load if we want to hunt with this one past 200 yards. Comment below and let us know if you think that's what it is. But either way, we're about to put the suppressor on it. We're just going to see how much that suppressor changes the velocity, if it does at all. Target. Top left of the target of this target. So here's interesting tidbit of information. It could just be that the suppressor changed the point of impact, but we're still getting similar speed. So the average of those 2 is 2625, but it's dropping below the target. So I'm going to aim at the top of the target and see where it hits. So it could... Okay, so I aimed at the top of the target and it hit the bullseye on the bottom left. So we're going to shoot 2 more aiming at that spot. So hopefully we can see what happens.
Perfect.
Okay, let's do one more. So after having that, what happened at 200 yards without the suppressor, it's pretty interesting because that's a pretty good group at 200 yards with the suppressor. We averaged 2615, so the speed's about the same. It seems if we're going to shoot this load out of this gun, we need to have the suppressor on it if we're going to shoot at 200 yards. Which actually is pretty perfect because that's the reason that I got an 18-inch barrel. So here we need opinion time. Comment below and let us know what you think the big difference is. Because obviously the shorty shot way better, at least for us today, with a suppressor at 200 yards versus without. So do you think that it's because it changed the barrel harmonics by adding that extra weight to the end of it? Or do you think it is because that 6-inch suppressor added to the 18-inch barrel created more space for the bullet to travel, helping it stabilize. Either way, there's our test. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you really like what we do and you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. And like I said, if you want to check out anything from this setup, head over to reviewthisthingtv.com and you can find links to all of that there. Thanks for watching.